Paul Flynn MP was honest enough to call the Defence Minister a liar a couple of weeks ago in Parliament, and he was suspended from Parliament for his troubles. He's here now. Paul.
Suspended as MP until October the 23rd for the offence of being caught in possession of the truth. All governments lie in war. It's a lie to say there's a terrorist Taliban threat to the United Kingdom, but that's the excuse that's been used in order to recruit and send soldiers to Afghanistan to face death. Jeremy, Caroline Lucas and I took a petition to Downing Street in the spring of this year, asking for the troops to be brought home. Since then, 25 British troops have died. Many of them have been murdered, not killed in battle, but murdered by the people that they're training, arming and funding. This is not warfare. Reading these names is something that I can't do in Parliament. I tried to do it on the 17th of September. After reading a few names, I was stopped, because believe it or not, in the mother of Parliament, in the home of democracy, it's forbidden to read the names. 3 parliamentary conferences, not one debate on Afghanistan, and it's the most important subject. More attention given to the anniversary of the Bond movies than the fact that it's 11 years since we went into Afghanistan. In 2006, the worst mistake was made when a British Labour Defence Secretary said that we were going into Helmand Province in order to do a bit of structure, do a bit of building, and he hoped that not a shot would be fired. It was said then in a debate in the House of Commons that this was like the charge of the Light Brigade, an episode of utter futility in our military history. This time it was Bush to the left of them, Blair to the right of them, who hollered and thundered. Theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. Into the valley of the shadow of death, into the mouth of Helmand, drove the 5,000. Only 2 British soldiers had been died after that point, and it's now 433. 2,000 other soldiers return broken in body and mind, and there are likely to be future deaths. I'll just mention just one of them, which is a particularly harrowing death that doesn't appear amongst the statistics, and that's a sergeant who was shot twice, survived that, involved in 2 other explosions, and then had the nightmare experience of seeing his best friend have 3 of his limbs blown off. And he held him and watched the life drain from his eyes. And that terrible nightmare experience was what killed this young sergeant, because he came home and with the best attention, with the best help, with a fine family, with psychiatric help for him, he took his life in January of this year. There's no reason why our troops should not be home by Christmas. The Canadian Parliament discussed the matter, so did the Dutch, and they brought their troops home. We cannot get a debate in Parliament on this subject. The British people want our troops brought home from this war impossible. The names I'd like to read today are Mohammed Sharif, killed by US bombing in the Dedadi area, Balk province, Afghanistan, in November 2001. Bismillah died of injuries sustained in a US bombing in Kabul, Afghanistan, in October 2001. Corporal Stephen Dunn, age 27, from Tyne and Wear, died in Helmand on the 21st of December 2010. Ranger Aaron McCormick, age 22, from County Londonderry, died in Helmand on the 14th of November 2010. Corporal Matthew Thomas, aged 24, from Swansea, died in Helmand on the 25th of September 2010. Abdul Wali, 28, tortured to death in a Special Forces base south of Asadabad village, Kuna province, Afghanistan, on the 23rd of June 2003. As is Anwar Nuwaya, killed with her daughter and over 20 other villagers in the US bombing of the village of Agam, north of Tora Bora Mountains, Afghanistan, on the 2nd of December 2001. Niaz Mohammed, 27, farmer, killed by US Apache helicopter on the village of Kona Bagia, Paktia province, Afghanistan, on the 31st of July 2002. May they rest in peace.
Thanks very much, Paul.